A biblical perspective on life, culture and current events. This is 2020 on Vision.
Let's get our thoughts around some things to do with what you could call a work-life balance, or as some call it, a life-work balance. They've been talking about this at the Global Leadership Summits. They've been going on through October. They're continuing on, extending into November, a real opportunity wherever you might be listening to our conversation today to have access to world-class leadership coaches who are able to speak very entertainingly, I might say, into the circumstances that we have wherever we're in leadership. So if you're thinking of leadership in your business, in your career, in your church, these sorts of events, when you get a Global Leadership Summit, are ones not to miss. John Robertson is CEO of Global Leadership Network for Australia and New Zealand. He's back with us. Hey, John, welcome back to 2020.
Thanks so much, Neil. Thanks for having me back.
Hey, John, let's talk work-life balance. And I know that there's one guest in this year's Global Leadership Summit. Her name is Tasunda Brown-Duckett, and she likes to talk about a life-work balance. I guess it's all the same, or is it? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, sure. She has a fascinating take on it. Now, you've got to remember, this woman is an exceptionally busy lady. She's the CEO of a TIAA, which is a wealth management or retirement fund insurance company. She has, as the CEO, it's a Fortune 100 company. So you can imagine the pressure, the stress on that. She's a mum, she's a wife, she's a daughter, she's got friends, she's got life outside of all of that. And she actually says, you know what, this whole idea of work-life balance or life-work balance, she goes, you know what, I just don't believe in it. She said, I want to treat life like a diversified portfolio. How about that?
Okay, let's pause for a moment because everybody has some sort of a grip on work-life or life-work balance. Not everybody understands what a diversified portfolio looks like. These are business terminologies here. So she's talking to leaders, and oftentimes they're business leaders or they're people who are across their work and career. So life-work balance, diversified portfolio, what do you think she means?
Okay, so really, I guess what a diversified portfolio does is it doesn't put all your eggs in the one basket. So when you're talking about investments, a portfolio spreads out investments across all various asset classes and industries and company sizes and everything. So it's hopeful that it'll give you the best return on your investment. So you're putting your funds out there to invest into things, and you're hoping that the returns, because it's diversified, because it's spread out, is going to, one of those is at least going to ring home for you and do the work that you're wanting it to do by increasing your investment.
You're not putting all your eggs in one basket. You've got your investment portfolio, you're into property, you're into shares, you're into all sorts of different elements. You've got your crypto account even maybe. But so what you're saying is don't put all your eggs in one basket. Get ready to chop and change to do what is most effective for you to be able to achieve the things you're called to do as a leader.
That's right. And so she's saying put all the things that are most important to you in your portfolio. For instance, I think all of us realize that if we're a leader, we're not just leading at work or in our business or at our church or our not-for-profit or those sorts of places, but we're also leading when we're at home. Where we're leading amongst our peers and friendship groups. We're leading when we volunteer somewhere maybe even. And so she's saying, well, wherever you are as a leader, put the things into your portfolio that matter most to you. So that might be your work. It might be the fact that you're a mother or a father. It might be the fact that you're a daughter or a son, a brother or a sister to somebody, and all the various aspects of your relationship, your health, your need for your own time, your need for maybe exercise in the gym and all these things, and put them in your portfolio. Whatever you consider most important to you, put them in your portfolio, and then be flexible enough to be able to put your investment, how much do you invest into each one of those and allow it to be flexible to the environments and the strains and the struggles that come as life continues.
I remember having a conversation at one stage with someone who was, high up on a corporate ladder and posing the question, do we live to work or do we work to live? If you've got a diversified portfolio, you've got to work out where your priorities fit in your day-to-day schedule, but not only your day-to-day schedule, but the way you've planned your week, your month, your life. Those sorts of things become very important, but it's somehow or other identifying where those elements fit. Any thoughts from you on that?
Yeah, I think too, you've got to remember that within a diversified portfolio from a financial perspective, you're talking about something that is over a long period of time. It's not just a short period of time. You're investing in those stocks, bonds, real estate, whatever it might be, and you're hoping that over a long period of time, they're going to pay off for you. And so understanding the balance that needs to be put within, or not the balance, sorry, but the things that need to be put within your portfolio as a leader, you need to be thinking long-term, not just short-term. But your short-term might change the circumstances within your short-term. I'll give you an example. So, for instance, you really want to ensure that you've got long-term great relationship with your kids. So, and they might be teenagers right now and they might not really want much of a relationship with you, but you know that you want to have a relationship with them all the way through to when they're adults and when they've got the kids and the grandkids and all the rest of that. So you're wanting to invest into them now, but because they're teenagers and they want their own life, you can't invest as much time as the teacher at school is because they see them more than they see you. So you're investing the time, you know it's important, and you're writing it for the long haul. The returns that you put into now, the investment will come later in a great relationship with them as they get older.
John, not all leaders own the company. Not all leaders are in charge of their own time. Sometimes we don't get to choose the priorities. There's obviously ways in which you set yourself for being resilient, set yourself to get the work-life balance. But that's not always easy for leaders to juggle either, is it?
Nope. No, absolutely not. And that's again where I think understanding that there needs to be a certain degree of flexibility. I think one of the problems with understanding work-life balance, life-work balance, is the word balance. People tend to think of it like a set of scales and it has to even out somehow, but it'll never even out because work is demanding 8 hours of you every single day if you're full-time employed. And so, what happens in those 8 hours may not be your decision, but what happens in and around the rest of the other 32 hours, not 32 hours, what happens in and around the rest of the day, you do have control over, so learning how to move with those things.
Okay, let's come back to the Global Leadership Summits. They've been running through the month of October. They're overflowing into the month of November. What summits are still able for listeners to be able to participate in if they wanted to go to one of these? What's coming up in November?
Good news for people in Perth, Neil, because if you're over in Perth, there's 2 events in early November, and so you can get along to either one of those over there. Also, if you are in Adelaide, right at the very end of October, there's one there if we've missed that. But then we've got into Townsville, up far north Queensland, there in November as well.
Okay, 2 events to look forward to in Perth, Townsville as well for those premier one-day events. They've been all across Australia, and you know what? The Global Leadership Summit, you can do this on demand. In fact, 90 days of streaming material is going to be available. You can also host your own summit package with a local package. Just come back to this local package. What does that all mean? Is that something, you've got a number of different organisations within your community, you can invite them together, or you've got a larger team of your own? How does the local package work, John?
That's exactly how it works, Neil, and it's designed to be flexible so that you can host your own summit with ready-made resources, event tools to help you. You can run it like a one-day event, or you can spread out the experience across several days, weeks, months. You can use it like professional development for your team and take an episode, watch a talk, debrief it, talk about it, make sure you land it into how are we going to learn from that for our business or for our church or for whatever, and you can break it right down like that.
Okay, I know there'll be listeners keeping an ear out and an eye out for Tasunda Brown-Duckett talking about life-work balance. Just like a diversified portfolio, there's some other great speakers. Craig Groeschel, who's so well known, he's become a staple for the Global Leadership Summits. Also the likes of John Acuff, James Hewitt, and the likes of Christine Kane, all a part of Global Leadership Summits. To connect with GLS, their website is globalleadership.org.au. Find out where those remaining summits are going to be on. If you're in WA or in far north Queensland, you might want to host your own summit. You might want to access that material on demand. globalleadership.org.au. And John Robertson is CEO of Global Leadership Network for Australia and New Zealand. John, thanks so much for sharing your thoughts and insights with us today on 2020.
Thanks so much, Neil. Thanks for having us, and I hope all your listeners would jump on, grab a hold of the GLS material. It's really going to be inspirational, changing your leadership, changing your life.
Thanks for taking time to listen to this audio on demand from Vision Christian Media. To find out more about us, go to vision.org.au.